My name is Akinmejiwa Oluyemi Walter on the peer assessment on curriculum that how may I take account the formal, informal, and any curriculum in both my planning and teaching. Let me start with the definition of those curricula. Hidden curriculum is a side effect of an education, that is, lessons which are learned but not openly intended, such as transmission of norms, values, and beliefs conveyed in classroom and the social environments. Any learning experience may teach unintended lessons. Hidden curriculum often refers to the knowledge gained in primary and secondary school settings, usually with a negative connotation, where the school strives for equal intellectual development. In this sense, hidden curriculum reinforces existing social inequalities by educating students according to their classes and social status. The unequal distribution of cultural capital in a society mirrors the corresponding distribution of knowledge among the students. Hidden curriculum acknowledges the perpetuated economic and social aspect of education. Various aspects of learning contributes to the success of hidden curriculum. Practices, procedures, rules, relationships, and structures. Many school-specific sources, some of which may be intended in this aspect of learning, gives rise to important elements of the hidden curriculum. This may include, but are not limited to, the social structure of the classroom, the teacher's exercise of authority, the rules governing the relationship between the teacher and the student learning activities, the teacher use of language that are used in the class, the textbook that are used, the audiovisual, and the furnishing with the architecture, also the disciplinary measures, the timetables, the tracking system, and the curriculum priorities. Variation among these sources promotes the disparity found when comparing the hidden curricula corresponding to various class and social status. Every school is both an expression of a political situation and as a teacher of politics. Although hidden curriculum conveys a great deal of knowledge to my students, the inequality promoted through its disparities among classes and social status often makes negative connotation, e.g., capital must be accessible to promote academic achievement. The effectiveness of schools will become limited when the forms of capital are unequally distributed. One additional aspect of hidden curriculum is that plays a major part in the development of my students and their faith in tracking. This method of imposing education and career paths upon students at young ages relies on various factors such as class and status to reinforce the socio-economic differences. Children tend to be placed on tracks, guiding them towards socio-economic occupations similar to that of their parents, without real consideration of their strengths and weaknesses. As students advance through the educational system, they follow along their tracks by completing their predetermined courses. This is one of the main factors limiting social mobility even in the United States of America. Hidden curriculum is taught by schools, not by any teacher. Something is coming across to the pupils which may never be spoken to the pupils in English lesson or prayer boards in assembly. They are picking up an approach to living and attitudes to learning. Curriculum consists of those things people learn through experiences of attending schools rather than stating education objectives of such hidden curriculum can be described as the total lesson learned by students in the school but which are never formally inscripted in their syllabus. In summary, hidden curriculum provide many things in the class, at least a subservient workforce, an acceptance of hierarchy, a legitimation of inequality, a might of meritocracy, that is, those who do not achieve blames themselves, a justification of privilege, an attribution of poverty to failure to conform and achieved. A formal curriculum is planned program that include content objectives and learning experiences. It is inclusive of assessments and resources that are offered by a school. The formal curriculum also encapsulates a view of learning in which it is straightforwardly assumed that what is learned is equivalent to what is being tested. Formal curriculum assumes the presence of the teacher. The world is ever changing, and what is taught in schools must also change. The concept of curriculum planning must be viewed critically at all purposes, content, and processes in a holistic manner. How I perceive of curriculum making is important because my conception and ways of reasoning about curriculum reflects and shape how I see, think, and talk about study and act on the education made available to students. Whatever curriculum, whether hidden curriculum, formal curriculum, informal curriculum that's adopted, I lay emphasis on the needs of the students, the school, context and statutory, and the syllabus required, because I believe that by reflecting the model of this instructional delivery and psychological classification of learning theories, both the hidden and informal curriculum take place or next to theoretical teaching. The formal teaching has important part in shaping the students. Lastly, when planning and teaching, I put all these types of curriculum in practice because I consider these four questions. What educational purpose should schools seek to attain? What learning experiences can likely attain these purposes? How can these learning experiences be organized? How can this effectiveness of the experiences be evaluated? I use this inclusive teaching strategies that enables all my students to learn and engage with the curriculum in the classroom. I use a variety of teaching strategies across the curriculum areas. In my classroom, there is a wide range of learners and a wide range of learners' needs that I take into account in my planning, teaching, and assessing. I believe that the following teaching innovations are congruent with inclusive education, cooperative learning, the whole language, multiple level curriculum overlapping, peer tutoring, and creating problem solving. Multiple intelligence assessment that intelligence is more than the linguistic or visual intelligence measured by the traditional intelligence assessment. I uses multiple intelligence to enable the student to plan for a range of talents and skills. Furthermore, I first know my students. I know that is the knowledge of students strengthens, provide a positive starting point. I implement the curriculum in my classroom, seeking to the plan, carefully planning and efforts to create. Curriculum allows me to be flexible and to insert a few personalized components or choose from any of the selected activities. I encompasses the four ways of approaches towards curriculum, to all those curricula. Number one, curriculum as a body of knowledge to be transmitted. Two, curriculum as attempts to achieve certain ends in the students, that is the products. Curriculum as process and curriculum as press. I believe with all this I've answered the question that how may I take account the hidden formal and informal curriculum into my teaching and planning.